You are in court because your attorney is late.
Okay, so we only take a record in this court when the judge tells you to? Is this a tactic on the court's part to attempt to wear out the defendant so they can't access their right to trial?
Oh. Stop interrupting me.
Well, we're not on the
Stop
record.
interrupting me.
Right? I mean, we're not in court. If there's no record.
Interrupting me.
I mean, that's the reason I don't come to your court at 9, because I know in another court, something's going to actually occur.
Today's case is a little different. Normally, it's the defendant who gets torn apart. But this time, it's the lawyer who's in the hot seat. This attorney just wouldn't stop talking, and Judge Boyd wasn't having it. She completely called him out for his unprofessional behavior. And honestly, she's right. Lawyers are supposed to stay composed in court, not throw tantrums when things don't go their way. What do you think about this case? Let me know in the comments below. Now, let's dive in and watch Judge Boyd put this lawyer in his place.
All right, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked everybody else. Has an acknowledgement of discovery been done? Because I don't have it in the court's file.
I have signed a few of them at this point.
All right, so has there been any new discovery?
Not to my knowledge.
All right, so you can make sure that the acknowledgement of discovery, the state actually has it and the court has it, because it's not in the court's file. And Odyssey is doing things on its own. So I'm going to have y'all come back tomorrow. You're not number one on the docket.
Okay.
There are a couple of cases that are ahead of you, so those cases may end up going for 4 years. We'll just see where we are. Okay?
That's correct.
Respectfully, Your Honor, Mr. Rios always appears, always waits all day. This is impacting his employment. We would ask that if we're not likely to be called tomorrow, that we be released. Additionally, I have experts for this trial that we have attempted to bring in, but we never know, and because the case is older now, when we should bring those experts in. So I'm going to have to approach the court and request additional funds for those experts if we're reset. So I would ask the court either to give us some preference tomorrow for trial, or if we can't do that, to release Mr. Rios so that he can go to work.
All right. Be here exactly at 9:30, okay?
Okay, yes.
All right. Counsel, be here exactly at 9:30.
You understand? Now, Your Honor, respectfully, every time we come to court, we lose an entire day of work ourselves, too. This is not typical of most of the courts in this county.
Oh, yeah, it is very typical.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
You can say that, Judge, but I practice in
And
the
say
courts.
that. And it very is typical, because every attorney that's here has a case that's set for jury trial. And this is what ends up happening. What ends up happening is I will allow people to go to civil cases, to be out of county, and then their client is sitting here waiting for them. And for some reason, that's the court's fault. That's not the court's fault when attorneys are not showing up at 9 or whatever, and then they stroll in at 9:30 or 9:45. So what I'm telling you all, 9:30, see y'all at 9:30. Thank you. Coordinator will give you a reset form.
Understood. Your Honor,
All right,
I'm
thank
trying to
you.
make a record. I don't see the court reporter typing.
What?
Okay, so we only take a record in this court when the judge tells you to? The case was called.
No, the case wasn't called. When I call the case, I call it by the style of the case.
Okay.
All right? All right, so I'll see y'all at 9:30.
Judge, I have to ask you, is this a tactic on the court's part to attempt to wear out the defendant so they can't access their right to trial?
What is this attorney even saying right now? Bro, just leave. The judge literally told you she'll see you at 9:30 tomorrow, and you're still here asking if the court is trying to wear out the defendant. Sir, the only thing wearing out the defendant is you. This guy is running laps around nonsense while his client is probably wishing he just represented himself. Seriously, this attorney is completely out of control for no reason. What do you think about his attitude so far? To me, it seems like he's got some kind of personal issue with Judge Boyd, which is wild because she's usually so sweet. But don't let that fool you. She's about to lay into him. Let's not waste any more time. Dive in and see Judge Boyd put this guy in his place.
Oh, I find that very inappropriate to say when there is no proof and people are just throwing things out. Now, what I can tell you, and I'm sure your client is aware, sometimes when we end up coming to court, we come to court because there are discovery issues. Sometimes when you're in court, you are in court because your attorney is late. And when I say late, I mean that when a case is scheduled in this court and it's scheduled for 9 a.m. and attorneys go to different courts because they want to go to different courts first, it is not the court's fault that you're sitting here for 12 o'clock or 1:30 or coming back over break. Number one, I have a lunch break. And there was a point in time where I would not take a lunch break. And the reason why I wouldn't take a lunch break is because I said, you know what?
Make a record?
I've been a defense attorney. And when I was a defense attorney, what I would always do, I'm like, I have to be in like 5 courts. It would be nice if they could stagger their docket. And so sometimes I would be here, we wouldn't have a lunch break, and I would be here till 3 o'clock. And then you know what I discovered? When I would say that I want to be here till 3 o'clock, I'm working through lunch, other attorneys, you know what they would end up doing? Then they wouldn't show up in the morning. They would just show up at 1:30 or whatever, because they're like, oh, the judge is going to stay there. So I stopped doing that because I need a lunch break. And that's what happens.
So then my other question, I guess, is if you're not doing this to cause the hardship, it obviously causes on all the attorneys and the defendants. Are you doing this for the YouTube? Because we don't have a record, right? Except for the YouTube.
Yes, here's the thing. You're to be back tomorrow at 9:30. You
Yes.
understand?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. And once you sign the reset form, you'll be here tomorrow. If somebody goes before you, somebody goes before you. Your counsel is well aware, or should be well aware, if he's been practicing in Bexar County,
For almost
that
20
there
years.
are a lot.
This dude has been practicing in this county for almost 20 years? No way. There's no way. He's giving off major sleazy, sketchy, under-the-table lawyer vibes. You know the type, takes your case in a back alley, then ghosts you on court day. And the audacity of this guy, accusing Judge Boyd of using her YouTube stream for money, that's insane. My guess is she uses it for transcripts or record keeping, but this clown is reaching hard. She's out here running a U.S. courtroom, and he's acting like she's some Twitch streamer hustling for donations. At this point, he's either trying to make her snap for some weird reason, or he's just the most delusional lawyer I've ever seen. Oh, and to the defendant, blink twice if you're okay, my guy.
Of cases that are on the docket for jury trial. So, for example, I had approximately 40 cases down for jury trial today. And what ends up happening, sometimes people who are in custody take precedent because their cases are older
I'm
than
asking
yours.
for a record, by the way.
You understand? Because they're older than yours. So that's what happens. So then what ends
Points are
up
being made,
happening,
there should be a record, right?
excuse me, stop interrupting me.
Well, we're not on the
Stop
record,
interrupting me.
right? I mean, we're not in
Stop
court. if there's no record.
interrupting me.
Sir, here's your reset form at 9:30.
So what ends up happening, sir, is that people who are in custody, sometimes their cases take precedent. And the reason why it takes precedent is because their cases are older and because the jail is overcrowded. Now, as you may or may not be aware, I call the docket all the time at 9 a.m. And sometimes when I call the docket at 9 a.m., defense attorneys are not here. Your attorney knows when he has not been here at 9 a.m., and then you have to wait. And you
Judge,
need
you're
to
aware
be
that every
here.
court starts at 9.
And you need to
I have
be
other
here.
cases.
And you need to be here at 9. So when your attorney is somewhere at another court, you know what ends up happening? Your attorney has made the choice to have you sit here and go to another court before
Well,
coming
that's not
here.
exactly true,
You
because all of
understand?
those courts got
All right,
business
good luck to
accomplished.
you.
All
Thank
of us
you.
got
Thank you,
recalled
sir.
today,
Thank you,
right,
sir.
Judge? So, I mean, what did we accomplish?
Have a nice
today?
afternoon, sir.
I mean, that's the reason I don't come to your court at 9, because I know in another court,
Sir,
something's
here's your
gonna actually occur.
Sir,
And they're courts of exactly the same
Sir.
jurisdiction.
Don't go anywhere yet, guys. This guy's not done. Judge Vo is about to move on to her next case, but this dude just won't leave. Like, seriously, what is he even doing? Stay tuned, this train wreck isn't over.
Hi.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Guzman.
Yes.
All right, so before the interpreter came, and correct me if I'm wrong, your attorneys came forward to let me know that they just received a new indictment. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and so that indictment, excuse me, Step away.
I was doing what the court ordered me to do and checking on the discovery.
All right, so what ended up happening is your attorneys. All right. The way things have really changed, the way people treat people, which I find very odd.
I'm definitely siding with Judge Boyd on this one. The lawyer was supposed to be there at 9 o'clock a.m., but he showed up late, got mad when the judge made him wait, and then threw a fit when she called him out. Courts run on schedules for a reason. Judges have packed dockets. She had 40 trials today, and lawyers are expected to be on time. Keyword, professional. This guy thought he could waltz in late and get special treatment. The way he crumbled under pressure was completely unprofessional. He's a grown man acting like a toddler who missed nap time. If you're throwing tantrums in court because a judge won't rearrange her schedule for you, maybe law isn't your calling. Emotional stability is kind of important when defending people's rights. Who are you siding with? To me, Judge Boyd is 100% right, but maybe you see something I don't. If you enjoyed this court video, hit the like button and subscribe for more. I post daily, so stay tuned for more wild courtroom moments. Let me know your thoughts on this hearing. Thanks for watching and take care.